Welcome to the PrepNet, presented every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Talk2Me's Channel 14. Come join us to discuss everything about prepping and hear what others have done. All about electricity. Part 11, Lithium Iron Phosphate Batteries Part 5. We will continue discussing the use of single lithium iron phosphate cells for your battery bank, and we will cover balancing my LFP battery. This topic is another can of worms, so can someone pass me a can opener? As we discussed before, the reason you need to have each cell in your battery balanced with the others is this is how you will get the maximum capacity of your battery into usable power. So, how do I balance the cells in my LFP battery? There are many opinions on the best way to balance the cells in an LFP battery. They are top balancing, bottom balancing. Top and bottom balancing does not balance the cells. Rather, it indicates when you should balance them. Manual balancing. Manually balancing individual cells by charging or discharging individual cells. Passive balancing. Active balancing. And you will need to balance each battery in your system. In my case, since I have 9 24-volt batteries, I need to balance each battery. I'll briefly describe each, but will only go into some detail on the ones I have done. Some think you should only try to balance your cells after you have discharged them down to near 2.5 volts, which would be 100% state of discharge for an LFP cell. This is called bottom balancing. Most believe you shouldn't balance your cells until they're fully charged or nearly so. This is called top balancing. This is the majority opinion and is backed by testing and the method I use. The first method to balance your cells is to do it manually, whether you are using the top or bottom balancing criteria. We did this manual balancing when we built our LFP 12-volt example battery a few weeks ago. To manually balance your battery, disassemble each battery into individual cells. Now connect all of the cells in parallel and wait at least 48 hours until all of the cells are balanced to the same voltage. Disconnect the cells and measure their voltages to verify that they are within your balance specification. Now put your battery back together in series, remembering to reconnect your BMS and any standalone meter cables. Your battery is balanced, but what a pain to do it this way, and you will not have access to that battery while balancing it. Another way to manually balance your cells without having to disassemble your battery is to manually charge low cells and discharge higher cells. However, this requires you to put in a lot of time to do this, and I do not recommend this. If you want to know how to do this, please send a question to our Gmail account, and I might make a video on our YouTube channel showing how to do this. Passive balancing. Passive balancing will take individual cells in your battery that are higher than the others and electronically put a resistor on that one cell. This will slowly drain power from it, reducing the voltage until it matches the voltage of your other cells. This drained voltage will be converted into heat and wasted. Most passive balancing systems can balance more than one cell at a time. This does require equipment that can passively balance your cells. Many of the all-in-one meters can do this, such as the one I mentioned on last week's net on monitoring your cell voltages. I have included a link to this meter in the video description. A battery management system also has a passive balancing function, and it is usually much better than the one in a standalone meter. They will have larger resistors to drain more power from the cells and therefore balance your cells faster. Passive balancing equipment does not require you to disassemble your battery into individual cells, which is much more convenient. The one criticism of this type of balancing is that the voltage or current that is drained off is wasted. Another thing you need to know is that each passive balancing function will be different between meters and BMSs, so watch the specs to get a balancer that meets your needs. My all-in-one meters have a passive balancing function, but I usually do not use it as you must manually start it each time. I use the passive balancing feature of my BMSs as it is automatic and I don't have to do anything beyond setting it up once. I also top balance my batteries. Active balancing. Active balancing is the opposite of passive balancing. Once the active balancer detects that your cells are out of balance, it will transfer power from your highest voltage cells to your lowest voltage cells. This wastes very little of the power that was used to charge your battery, as the excess voltage of one cell is being used to charge your lower voltage cells. And the power transfer is usually higher than the draining of a cell with passive balancing. That's the upside of the active balancing. The downside is that most, if not all, active balancing equipment is standalone and must be installed in addition to a passive balancing system or a BMS. If you install active balancing equipment, you must turn off any passive balancing of your standalone meters and BMSs. My passive balancing on my BMS is set to once any cell in the battery gets to 3.335 volts when charging, and there is a 7 millivolt or greater difference between the highest and lowest cells. The passive balancing will start and will automatically turn off once the difference between the cells is less than 7 millivolts. These low settings help prevent the cells from getting too far apart and will balance faster. However, balancing will be turned on more often. One more note here. Your cells will more likely be out of balance the closer they get to full charge or full discharge. My batteries have been fairly balanced when they are in that 3.1 to 3.2 volt state of charge, which is where you get most of your capacity from. Remember to watch the expanded presentation on our YouTube channel, which will have visuals for better understanding. Next week, we'll continue our All About Electricity series and discuss the battery management system. Can it display the voltages of your cells? What other information can a BMS tell you? Can you balance your batteries with a BMS? Does a BMS give you other protections? If you have any questions about what we have discussed here tonight, please send your question to prepnetch14@gmail.com and enter question in the subject line.